Take it
Okay.
easy.
Hey, everybody. We have a special guest today. Famous Howard Stern, former, what would you call yourself? Howard Stern employee, comedian,
Yes, some
professional
some
broadcaster.
some have labeled me former 100 Howard 100 newsman, writer, producer. Some just know me as Shitwayer. Shuli Egar, pleasure to be here. The word famous, that's a little tough, but nowhere near as famous as you, Miss Judy.
That is so untrue. Yeah. But so I don't know where to begin because I've done a little bit of research on you. So it sounds like you came to this country from Israel when you were
Yeah.
4, right?
You want me to leave now? Does your chat want me to leave? I'll go if you guys hate Israel.
No, no, these are people who are totally into Dan Markel's murder case. And of
Okay.
course, Dan was a very devout and proud Jewish person who had ties to Israel. He had relatives who still lived there. And it was kind of a growing issue in his marriage to Wendy, whose testimony we're going to react to
Was
today.
she Jewish? Was Wendy
Yes,
Jewish? Oh,
yes,
okay.
but she was, as far as I've heard, she was not observant. So
Well,
she started having some issues with him.
as a Jewish Israeli man who's married to a shiksa, I can tell you my Jewishness pisses her off as well sometimes. So I understand where Wendy's coming from. We can be a little pushy at times.
Yeah, but you talked about going to get a baconator. So how devout? I mean, what's the extent of your Jewishness and identity?
Well, was born in Israel, named after my uncle who was killed in the Six Day War. I have two
Oh,
older brothers, and my family decided that they wanted to leave Israel. They had a hunch that things wouldn't mellow out anytime soon over there in the Middle East, so they grabbed whatever resources they had and came over to the States and started to learn English and brought their family over. Basically, took a lot of crap from family and friends for leaving, but my mom wanted to do what was best for her kids, and we came out here to the States and back and forth. We got family there, but been living in the States since I was 3, 4 years old, and yeah, fell in love with comedy and the Stern Show, and was a listener for many years, and then tried calling into the show and got through, and that kind of was my thing. I was a regular caller for a while, contributing stuff to the show. And then when he moved to satellite radio, they had an opportunity to put together a news team to cover the world of Howard. And I got called. I was living in Vegas at the time with my folks, starting out in comedy. And I got a call from, at the time, this program director, Tim Sabian, and he offered me a 1 week audition in New York. I didn't know what for. I didn't know what it was about. I just had my dad buy me a plane ticket, and I went the next day to New York, and I ended up working there 15 years, being a part of the greatest radio show of all time.
wow, that's great. So where did you grow up?
West Coast, a little bit in Arizona. I jumped around Vegas, New York. Now I'm in really the mecca of Judaism, Huntsville, Alabama, and
Yeah,
that's where I'm at now.
that's a big change. But so what did your parents do for a living?
My mom worked at a major bank in Israel, shocker, and then she came to the States and worked in banking there. And then my pops owned a few car washes out in like about a 2 hour drive from where we live. So he drove 7 days a week and ran these car washes pretty much his whole life. So that's what they did, and I fucked around.
Okay, well, so I don't want this to come across as insulting, but hey,
Here we go.
you're much thicker skinned than Stuttering John, right? So,
Yeah.
so is it true that you dropped out of high school? Because I thought Jewish people loved education and value education. What happened? What happened?
Wahapa. I didn't know I was on the Judy anti-Semitic hour. Really? Jews love education, Judy? You're going to stick with that statement?
There are a lot of Jewish professors. Actually, my ex-husband told me that they had some discussion about how Jewish men are overrepresented in the legal academy.
Yeah, long overdue. I agree with that. No, I did drop out of high school. I'm the youngest of three, and I think by the time I was around, my parents, they hit that chess clock, and they were like, we're done parenting. Like, we don't care. Whatever happens, happens, and wasn't a lot of hands-on parenting. And, I felt like for what I wanted to do, I didn't need to be in school, and it wasn't the best decision. Would I do it again? No, but I did it. And so that's it. We're moving on.
But I'm just so curious because I don't know anyone who dropped out of high school. So what grade were you in? Were you failing? What? More details, please. I'm very curious.
Sure. Let me pull up my transcripts real quick, Judy.
Yeah, do you have your transcripts like
no,
John?
No, I don't. I'm not a nerd, Judy. I don't. You think I have my transcript? No, for me, school was a hangout. It was a social thing. It was like, especially when I was all about trying to get people to laugh. Like, that was my thing. I loved comedy. I remembered all these jokes, street jokes, comedians that I saw on TV when I was younger. So I just never took it seriously. Plus, the teachers I had, a lot of them were they were burnt out. They were fried. They didn't want to be there. They had no patience. They didn't want to fucking teach. And I was just like, the teachers that I liked, I excelled in those classes, right? Like the good teachers, I did good in. I did well in their class. But the ones that were just, gave me nothing, I gave them right back. And I was just like, I didn't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what did you wind up doing when you just quit school?
I just wanted to roam the earth. I had no plan. I mean, you can't expect a 17-year-old, 16-year-old kid to have a future plan when dropping out of high school. It's kind of the reason why you drop out of high school.
Yeah,
because you don't really know what the hell you're going to do.
Yeah,
right.
But was it like your dad said, okay, come work for this business? We need you to work.
I didn't need to drop out of school to have him drag me to the frickin' car washes with him. Believe me, I worked with him whenever he said. I used to do, what I used to do? My dad was like a hoarder, so he used to have a lot of junk in the garage. And out in California, they used to have this swap meet once a month in a parking lot of this college, Pierce Community College. And I would grab a bunch of his junk and I would just drive it down to the swap meet and I'd get a booth and I would sell out within 3 hours. Like the amount of crap people bought, they didn't even know, a crate with old seltzer bottles in it. Like, how much? I'm like, how much? Just fucking take it. Like,
it's like trash. Yeah.
But so I was always wheeling and dealing and trying to make some money because, the less favors you ask from Jewish parents, the less you're attached. So I always tried to make it a thing where I made money and was hustling, always.
But I'm surprised again because...
Judy, get over it.
No, I can't get over it because this is like so antithetical to my stereotypes of Jewish people being scholars and, PhDs and doctors and stuff. Yeah. But your mom worked in banking. So how did she feel?
Judy, this may be hard for you to believe. Some of us Jews are stupid, Isn't that crazy?
Well, I did have one client where I was like, aren't Jewish people supposed to be good with money? What the heck happened?
Yeah. I mean, aren't all black people supposed to be great at dancing? Not all of them.
That's true.
Right. That's all. There's some black people that go to McDonald's and just order their food without wrapping it. You understand? Okay. So that there's all kinds of weird anomalies.
Hip hop music in the background, like in those commercials and stuff. There always has to be hip hop music.
Yeah. Where are all
I'm
my dumb
crying.
Jews? Where are my dumb Jews at in the chat? Represent one in the chat if you're a dumb Jew.
Okay, okay. So I heard that you worked at the Las Vegas airport pushing people in wheelchairs, and you worked
Yeah.
at a liquor store. What other
Yes.
random jobs did you do?
Whatever at that time, whatever job that would kind of coexist with my comedy schedule. So, and whatever jobs didn't drug test at the time too. That was a big, I enjoyed the pot. And so McCarran Airport did not drug test. Wheelchair pusher job was like, it's something I'll never forget because the amount of handicapped people you actually help is almost non-existent compared to the amount of fat people that you push around the airport that are too lazy to walk. So that was the crazy thing to me is how many people, legit handicapped people, were like, I don't need your help. And I'm towing their bag through the airport while they're wheeling themselves through the airport, doing it all themselves. Meanwhile, some fatty wants me to swing by Burger King on the way to the B gates. And it's like, and then they give you 50 cents for being, an engine for them. It was wild. But I also had a captive audience. So when I was doing stand-up, I could try out material on these people, and they're not going anywhere. They're in the chair.
Yeah.
They're screwed. So.
Did you try to make any fat jokes or handicap jokes while you were pushing people?
On stage, I would, not to them. It turns out they're a bit sensy. They're a bit sensitive to fat
Of course,
jokes.
they
So
might have fibromyalgia, a little sensitive to the touch. Yeah.
I had a Hasidic Jew write a complaint letter. I had a friend that worked in the hat store Lids at the airport, and when I didn't have a call, I would just be in there and trying out material on him and running jokes by him. And we were telling street jokes, and I told an old, Jewish child molester joke, and apparently this guy was in the store. And
Okay, that could be a little bit over the top.
it's a classic. It's hey, little kid, want to buy some candy? It's a classic Jewish joke. And apparently this guy was in there. I didn't know, and he wrote a letter. And the best part about it was he wrote the joke out in the letter in his complaint, which I always thought was funnier than the joke was reading his reenactment of it. But yeah, every job, school, it was all about just trying out stuff on people.
Yeah. So, how was your comedy career back then in Las Vegas? Were you
Terrible.
constantly performing? Oh,
Terrible. Well, the Vegas is not a town that has a comedy circuit, right? Like it's not like New York or LA where there's, 10, 20 clubs. You can go up 5 times in one night at, 4 different places, whatever. Like the options are endless. Vegas, no one is interested in a comedy scene, bringing up local talent. And the reason for that is because every hotel has a named person performing in it. So how are you going to get people to drive to a bar and sit at an open mic when they can go to a hotel and go to their comedy club and see a touring headliner or whatever, right? So there's no the options. The options are killer in Vegas, and so there's no room to grow out there.
yeah, that's true. I saw Bobby Lee in Las
Yeah.
Vegas a long time ago, and definitely there was no way we're going to drive out or get a taxi to go to some far-flung comedy club to see some local person.
Yeah, my comedy career consisted of playing in front of 12s of people a night, and most of them were comped, so they have no investment into the comedy show whatsoever. They're sitting there with their arms folded, and it's just like, dance, monkey. I didn't pay a dime for this. You better be good. And so that's that.
Yeah.
But
So
if
did you?
if you, yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Did your parents scold you during this time? Because I think you were living in their basement and trying
Yeah.
to be a comedian. What did they
Yeah.
say to you?
No, my dad, my mom was supportive, even though she didn't understand it. She always was supportive. My dad is old school, so we're in Vegas. Every weekend he'd bring me a paper with a new casino opening up and say, have you looked into this? Have you looked into... And I did that. Like I worked as a blackjack dealer at a casino for almost 2 years. I dealt blackjack, roulette, Pai Gow poker. I worked in the casino industry. I saw it all, and I hated every second of it. Watching people throw their lives away on a nightly basis. It was painful to watch.
Yeah, it's sad. Did you see busloads of Chinese people coming in? Because I think that's a thing. Yeah, they have these tour groups for Chinese people to come in from, say, San Francisco.
So let me tell you about this liquor souvenir store I used to work at in downtown, right? Are you familiar with Vegas?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so Fremont Street is in downtown. It's got this light show canopy thing, right?
Yeah.
So under this light show canopy thing are a bunch of stores, like a boardwalk. And one of them was owned by this Israeli family. And they had this whole system set up where if tourists came in, particularly Asians, you would now price gouge them. You would like they would come in and ask for a roll of film, 200 speed, 24 pictures. And the film's like $2.99. But the employees that they hired, which were mostly Israelis, like right off the boat, no papers, nothing. They all got paid in cash under the table. And their job was to now charge this Asian or German or wherever they're from $12.99 for this roll of film. And they did it so much that they had a whole system down of what the people were like based on where they were from. Oh. So they used to say that Asian people, you don't even have to tell them a price. They just hand you the card.
Oh.
Once you bring the film out or whatever that item is. And that was the case for a lot, except when the Chinese tour groups came in. And the Chinese were like Jews. They checked receipts. They put the glasses on. They were like, let me see here. And they would always catch them. I was one of the few employees that had legit papers and was a citizen. So I didn't have to rip people off. And I told them I'm not going to rip people. If I want to rip people off, I go back to dealing blackjack. Like, I'm not working at this liquor store to rip people off. I was getting tons of material working at that liquor store as a comic. The people that would come in, the stories that they would tell me. It's like, if I wrote a book, nobody believed it, right? So I loved that job because of the weirdness. It was right in the center of just the weirdest spot in Vegas. The courthouse is right down the street. The county jail. Dudes would show up with their, manila envelopes having just been released. Guy says, can I get a bottle of wild turkey? And I said, you want 80 proof or 101? And he goes, give me the one with the bird on it. And that's all wild turkey bottles, which I thought, what a great answer, and shit like that. I loved it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, of course, never stand between an Asian and their camera film, right? They needed it, so they'll pay for it. Yeah.
And we developed film, too, over there. I used to develop film, and you'd be surprised.
A long time ago. Wait, how old are you? That was ages ago.
Judy, let it go. We can never be. My heart belongs to another, but I appreciate the offer.
Okay, I'm thinking like early 90s or something. Because when
50.
did people stop selling film and needing film?
That store? Never. The film we sold was from the 84 Olympics. Believe me, it was expired. It was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were the last.
Ah, okay. Well, I know people rag on you for constantly reading super chats and stuff and saying your show is just about you reading chats, but
Thank you.
I do appreciate people throwing money at us. So
yes, and can I just say, ladies and gentlemen, the sweetheart Judy has been hitting me up to split this money, and I refuse to take a penny from her. So every cent you give goes right to Judy, right there, Miss Judy.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Since you're so wealthy and successful now as a podcaster. Yeah, thank you. Well,
look who learned to be a good Jew all of a sudden, Judy.
Okay, well, we're going to focus on Shuli here. So Vince is on with me on Tuesdays at 5. Oh, hello, Shuri. How are you? Okay.
I'm good, Judy. How are you?
Oh, doing very well. Okay. Very happy. Loving this podcast. Big fan of you both. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Poker Miguel says, can we talk about the dummy? We'll talk about that toward the end because this was sold as reacting to Wendi Adelson's testimony because most of my audience is still obsessed with the Dan Markel murder case. So we'll talk that Dabbleverse stuff towards the end. Okay. Okay, great. So you ready? Oh, and thank you, Teresa. Thanks.
Hi, Teresa.
Okay, so what do you know about this case so far?
So from what I understand, they were about to go. They were going through a divorce, right? And
Yes.
and all of a sudden, he ends up dead. And there is some heavy speculation that maybe her family did this with or without her knowledge. And then I love that I saw that the brother made a joke when he got her a TV. He said, I looked into getting a hitman, but a TV was cheaper. I thought that I watched her interview with the detectives.
Oh, that's a really long interview, though.
Well,
Did you
I
watch
didn't
the
get-
whole thing?
No, I didn't get through all of it because I got kids and
Yeah,
they're assholes.
you got
But
Better things to do.
yeah, but I love watching interrogation videos, and not to go into the Dabbleverse, but there is a lot of John in those people that are interrogated. And there are methods. They were divorced, going through custody battle. Right.
Yeah.
So there are methods when dealing with certain people, especially narcissists, that I love seeing in these interviews. Because I'm always like, we've covered John for 3-4 years. I'm like, there he is. I always see it. So do I think she has an idea of what happened? Absolutely. I really do, because no family's going to greenlight, maybe a cartel family, but no family's going to greenlight that without checking with her, without talking with her. She had to have known something was going on. Had to.
Yeah.
And she mentioned her brother was like, I know he treats you terribly. Was there any documented, this part I don't know, but was there any documented signs of abuse between them? Or
No,
Right.
not as far as I know, except Wendy saying that he was emotionally abusive or something. But I think she just couldn't handle him because he was actually smarter and more successful than she was. And she was used to being the golden girl princess of the family because she's
Yeah.
very, very smart, well educated also. But her career kind of tanked a little bit when she went to Tallahassee because of her then husband's job.
Yeah, and guess what? You're mentally abused. That's called marriage. That's called marriage. It happened. I'm mentally abused. She's mentally abused. We're all abusing each other mentally. When I know something's wrong and I ask my wife what's wrong and she goes nothing, that's mental abuse. You understand?
Okay, well, sure, to Wendy, that would definitely be abusive. So,
Right.
yeah. So they had already divorced back in 2013, and she was the one who wanted the divorce and suddenly left him taking the kids when he was in New York getting ready to give a speech at a conference. So at first he was pleading with her to come back and he would change and, work on the marriage because they had two very young sons at the time. But
Now,
then-
I'm sorry, but when you say he promised to change, what was he promising to change? What were the issues at that time for the divorce?
Well, we're just guessing because we
Right.
don't know these people, but based on all the legal pleadings and friends who have come forth and stuff, it sounds like he was really into his career as a tenured law professor. So he would travel. There was some talk about him going off to Israel when she was pregnant, and he liked hobnobbing, going to conferences. He was very scholarly and he published a lot. So Wendi said that, he seemed to care a lot about his career, and he would tell her not to talk to him when he was in the back of the car working on his law review articles and she was driving.
So it sounds like the guy was very driven, which
Yes.
gives off asshole vibes to a lot of people, I would imagine. Maybe not intentionally, maybe
Yeah,
some
some
are.
people did say, like his coworker, someone had worked at the law school, said he was a pompous ass.
Yeah, but that goes with type A personality.
Yeah, when
that
you're
that goes hand in
successful.
hand. Right.
Yeah.
My question to you is, how much do you feel, because she was an attorney, how much of this is jealousy based? Like,
Yeah.
here's this guy's career flourishing. He's this law professor. Everybody's kissing his ass. He's flying all over the world, popping here, popping there. She's in the same field, but she's stuck at home with kids. And, right?
Well, she did have a job, but it was definitely nowhere near as prestigious because she had some sort of like year-to-year contract professor type of job as a clinical professor, which made a lot less than he made. But she didn't have to work that hard, as far as I know. Her ex-boyfriend, who kind of spilled the beans to the police later, he said she pretty much just worked 2 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that was a driving force in her not being a fan of the setup, the situation, and wanting out. Is this guy's running laps around her career-wise.
Yeah, and she hated Tallahassee. So this is some issue where sometimes she would waffle back and forth and say that she liked it in Tallahassee. But, from her ex-boyfriend's police interview, all she would talk about was how much she hated Danny and how much she hated Tallahassee. And she felt stuck there because she had joint custody with Dan. Yeah. So, okay. So you ready to maybe plate this and...
Yeah, guilty.
Pause.
Move on. Next case. What do we got?
Well, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
sure
all
people
right.
appreciate your quick thoughts and quick assessment of this after how many hours? Like 2 hours of learning about the case. But okay, so let's plate this.
Before he died?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And you hated him too, right?
At certain points, I was very frustrated with him.
Did you refer to him as an STD?
Ouch.
I don't remember saying that.
Tab.
Make it a habit. 7 minutes of Tai Chi.
Donate to Judy so she can get YouTube Premium, guys, please. Miss Judy. Super chats are wide open. Floor it. Thank you.
See, I'm very thrifty and cheap too, Shuli. So
I know.
I refuse to pay because YouTube takes such a big cut out of our revenue. And
That's why you got to get on Super Tip. That's why you got to
Well,
get set up on Super Tip,
Vince
Judy.
keeps saying that it's like a show killer or disrupts
Yeah,
things.
you know what
and-
else is a show killer? Vince. Don't listen to him.
Okay, I walked right into that joke.
Feel free to reach out. I'll set you up. It would be great, and you get 90%.
Well, but what do they take from you? Oh, they take a percentage still. So
Yeah, they
that's
take
how
10%.
they make money. Okay.
But they take 10% versus 30. Isn't that a better deal?
Yeah, but doesn't it make your show more focused on people writing stupid comments?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's like a new toy. They go nuts when they first have it, and then they get tired of it. And what really happens is the people that are really good at it use it really well, and it does add and help to the show, if you have the right audience for it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, thank you.
And people can just super chat. Like, you don't have to have all these voices. People can just super chat like they do on YouTube, and you get a much better take home. And instantly, you don't have to wait a month to get it.
Oh, okay. And who created it?
A guy by the name of Patrick Melton and a buddy of his named Moody. They created this system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay,
problem.
so I skipped the ad, so let's continue.
And then I ran an ad myself.
Looks
for
like I
Super
made
Tip.
that analogy.
Danny is an STD. One wrong mistake, marrying him, and this will never go away. Is that what you said?
I did.
And did you share that kind of sentiment with your mother?
I don't remember ever saying that, so I don't think it's something I said very often.
And this was said in an email on February 26th of 2013, correct?
It was.
Approximately 17 months before the murder?
Yes, I don't think it was an email, though. It looks like it was sort of an iMessage.
Okay. Did you ever refer to your ex-husband as the Dark Lord?
I don't remember saying that, but I certainly might have.
Did you refer to your ex-husband as Gibbers?
I did.
What is the meaning of Gibbers?
Gibbers was just a silly name that a friend helped me come up with to basically make him feel less scary. It was nonsense.
Did it reference Jew in boots?
That I don't remember.
It wasn't a friendly name, right?
It was a silly name.
I know
Did
that
you
book.
ever say that you hated Dan Markel?
I don't remember saying it.
Are you the only person that recognizes that book? What is it?
I swear I remember that book.
What
I
is it?
swear.
Some kids,
It's a
popular
kid's, yeah.
book?
It's a kid's book about a Jewish cat running around in boots. It's a tale as old as time, Judy. I got to explain this to you.
Okay, but that's what I'm not sure, because Wendi and her mom would call Dan Gibbers. So was Gibbers some sort of character from the book?
No, I think it's just that's just their instead of calling him a Jew in boots, that's their little nickname for him. They know what it means.
Oh.
Here's my take though. Any woman at this age who is still this close to her mom, that's a sign. That's not good. That's not good. You be close with your parents, don't get me wrong. But to sit here and come up with nicknames for the guy, Jew in boots, with your mom, they're both fucked up, in my opinion. That's weird. That's wild shit.
Well, they did, like, people say this whole family seemed to have some sort of like incestuous vibe where they're constantly talking to each other, calling each other. Every decision had to be run by each other. Someone said that, like, they couldn't even fart without one of them knowing about it.
And yet the decision to whack the guy, nobody got to her with. Nobody ran that by Wendi, right? That was the one thing the family decided to do on their own. I don't buy it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I certainly could have.
Tab 31, please, to refresh your memory.
I said that I hate him in this moment.
Okay, and did you say in that email, that same email, quote, I hate my children's dad?
I did.
And do you agree that email was sent approximately 15 months before Mr. Markel was murdered?
It was in April of 2013.
Approach with what I've marked as 56A, B, C, and 57. Asked you about the Gibbers nickname. Did you have that nickname stored in your cell phone as Dan Markel's contact name?
I did.
Approach and show you these exhibits and ask if they're fair and accurate. Contacts 56A. Who is that a contact for? You know.
It's my mom's phone number, so that would have been. It's a picture of Ben as a little guy and my mom.
Okay, so fair and accurate contact
Yes.
on your phone for mom at that time.
Yes.
Okay, and then 56B.
That's my dad.
And that's his phone number.
It is.
56C.
That's my brother.
Charlie.
Yes.
Okay, fair and accurate phone number for him at that time.
Yes.
And then 57 is that the contact you had in there for your ex-husband, Dan Markel.
Yes.
Okay, so this time it has to move in evidence 56 and 57.
God, you lawyers are good.
Okay,
Realize
now I
you
have
did.
to skip that ad again.
Yeah, nobody saw it. It's all good.
All right. So, I mean, do you know families where they're so enmeshed and just the parents are still controlling the kids, even when the kids are grown adults with
Yeah,
kids.
they're called Jewish families. That's very common. You know, that's a move. That's a move that the parents make. They offer you some help, and then they hold it over your head for the rest of your life. So that is, yeah, that's a lot of parents. You know, I think it's a lot of close families, but there's close, and then there's a little too close, and you know, when the whole family is goofing on this guy, I mean, just think about this. Think of how much easier everybody's life would be if they just went through the fucking divorce, went through the procedure.
They
whoever
did.
got right.
They did,
Well, that's
but
what I'm
they
saying.
didn't get what the princess wanted. The princess
that's-
wanted to relocate, and she filed a motion to take the kids and move closer to her family, but the judge denied it.
Yeah, and now everybody's up for a permanent move. You understand? Now everybody's lives are fucked because, like you said, this princess didn't get her way. It's no different than doing a stand-up show, and it's a lot of times, not every time, but I would say 90% of the time when there's babbling going on in the audience, it's a woman. She's usually drunk, and she's bored because attention is not being paid to her for X amount of time. And now she's going to interject herself into the show and get that attention one way or another. Guys do it too, but I see a lot more on women doing that. You know, and then you give them the attention and they get pissed. It's like, well, this is what you wanted.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, what do you think about her demeanor so far? Wendy's demeanor.
I mean, it's tough to watch this and think this won't, even going back to the interview, right, with the detective, to see her demeanor from being this, you know, in shock, craze, screaming, crying, can't believe what they're telling her, to then, you know, casually talking about, yeah, well, my brother mentioned you tried a hitman, but the TV was cheaper. And just the roller coaster of emotions. You've seen people who have lost people that generally have nothing to do with it, and they're wrecked. There is no snapback moment within 5 minutes of like, oh, and by the way, did I tell you this? You know, her discussing driving by the scene.
Yeah, and she thought it was a downed tree. That's why
Yeah.
she didn't stop to ask the police officer what happened here at my ex-husband's house.
Yeah, there's signs, there's tells, there's, you know, when I was doing comedy and working part-time at the airport, my other job was playing poker in Vegas, Texas Hold'em, and a tell is a tell. People have tells on their faces, the way they sit, the way they answer questions. It lets you know what's going on without having to see their two cards, right? And so this is no different. This is, you just got to read the person.
Yeah. So that's why it's so cool that you've had so many of these jobs where you had to work on your perceptive skills and how to fine tune things to your audience or the customers or whoever you're dealing with.
Yeah, and had I stayed in high school, I would have never had that. So thank you, I win.
Yes, you do, because as some mean commenter said, that there are a lot of Asians who are book smart and have lots of lofty degrees, but they're kind of like stupid from a practical standpoint.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. And I was like, well, that is sort of true, because there's one thing to be book smart and score a perfect score on your SAT versus, you know, the school of hard knocks and real life dealing with people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
EQ. Yeah. Okay. We'll get to the chat later. Let's try to play the.
States 56 and 57 are admitted at this time.
Did you ever refer to your ex-husband, Dan Markel, as an emotional terrorist?
I very well could have. I don't remember saying that, but
That one's on tab 34. I'm so sorry. Is that? Yes, I believe it is 34.
It is. I see it. I said it in December of 2013.
Approximately 7 months before his murder.
December to, yes, approximately 7 months.
And tab 35, in June of 2014, did you say of your ex-husband, I hate him so?
I did write that.
And that was approximately 3 weeks before Mr. Markel was murdered, correct?
Yes.
All right, next I want to ask you about Mr. Markel's response to your petition to relocate. Is it fair to say he was adamantly opposed to that motion?
Yes.
All right, and you all thought over things large, of course, but also very small, like in this pleading, a tennis racket is mentioned, right?
Yes.
In Mr. Markel's response, and for court and counsel, this is page 82 of Exhibit 60, he indicates, the husband affirmatively alleges that the wife helped herself to non-marital assets, including money and stocks owned prior to marriage, as well as numerous personal non-marital belongings of the husband, such as luggage, bicycle, tennis racket, and family heirlooms. Did you take those things when you vacated the property?
I did remember taking his tennis racket by accident and I returned that, but otherwise I didn't take his belongings.
I just want to add that allegedly she also took all the paper towels and toilet paper too. I mean, how cold is that when you're ditching your spouse to take all the toilet paper?
So I was gonna ask, like, is the tennis racket being brought up in the divorce proceedings? Is that the lawyers and her basically agreeing, let's fuck with this guy for everything and like really torture him and you know, because it's a tennis racket at the end of the day. Like, what what are we talking about here? Why are you busting balls over this tennis racket? How important is it? Is it framed? Is it from Wimbledon? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that Wendi and her mother, Donna, who was on trial during this trial for murder, they wanted to make this whole separation as painful and humiliating as possible to Dan. But the reason why the prosecutor here is bringing it up is to counteract Wendi and Donna's likely story, which is that, oh, it wasn't an acrimonious divorce. They were getting along okay. It wasn't that bad. Why would it lead to murder? So that's why the prosecutor's bringing up how petty Wendi
Not only that,
was.
but all the nicknames, all the conversations about him behind his back with the mom and the all that. It's a brilliant build up to showing that she hated this guy and wanted to make his life a living hell.
Yeah. Well, do you have any experience with divorce in your
No.
family?
No, I mean,
Well, good.
when a woman falls for me, she's all in. There is
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah.
So if she would want to be with you, then something in her brain is already set to like you.
Judy, look at this. Who's walking away from this? Nobody. Come on.
That's right. But who was it that I said that to? I think it was to some chatter who asked me if I would prefer to go out with you or John. And I said, well, Shuli, a long time ago, you did look pretty handsome.
I know. Well, I mean, it's nothing a wig can't fix. I mean, if I throw some hair on,
Oh my God.
look at that.
That kind of looks like Clay Aiken. You know, the guy who was on American Idol? That looks like Clay Aiken.
My cats got to it. They ripped it a little bit here. Now I look ridiculous.
Okay, I think you look better bald. Please take that off.
All right. Because I got this one too. If you like the Jew fro, I go back to my kindergarten
Gilbert
days.
Godfrey look or something. Okay, well that's great. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that you personally have not gone through divorce or you don't have close relatives or something. But I do a lot of divorce cases, and it is pretty sad how petty and mean some
Yeah.
people can become during divorces, especially when children are involved.
Can I ask a question? Because, John, had to go to court for arrears at one point back in the day.
Yeah.
And, those documents have surfaced online. People have seen it. His thing is he always says, well, this is just one side of the story, because he says lawyers are supposed to lie and make you look like shit in these proceedings. And we're only seeing her version of things. Wouldn't what's available to the public be the whole version of everything?
Yeah, because he
Right.
could have filed a response. And
Right.
it's not true that lawyers are supposed to lie. We do have some ethics and professional codes of conduct to adhere to. But,
Right.
if he disagreed, then they should have filed something in response. So,
Yeah, and I imagine if you're a spouse that's sick of being in this situation and this person, whatever happened, I imagine there is some malice behind the divorce, and maybe there is a part of them that wants to make it hurt and wants them to suffer. And the attorney's job is to do what the client's asking for, right? I mean,
yeah,
within reason.
within bounds. Yeah.
Right.
Ethical bounds.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But, this is totally going off topic, but to be fair, I think it was also foolhardy of his wife not to be thinking about the future and working on her career, because, showbiz is so
It's sketchy. It's
temporary.
sketchy. Yeah.
Yeah, like 1 minute you're like making great money, people love you, then you could lose your contract or job or whatever. So you could be broke.
Ouch. That felt personal, but
No,
okay.
no, I'm just
Yeah,
talking
no,
in
I'm
general,
kidding.
not you.
I'm kidding. Don't worry.
Did I hit a raw nerve? You could be
Ouch.
broke.
Ouch.
I'm just speaking in generalities here, but
Yeah.
it is kind of stupid in this day and age, based on what I've seen with tons of clients and stuff, for one person to just totally give up their earning potential to just, stay home and be a stay-at-home dad or mom. Even when the kids are older, that's time to start working and thinking like, well, something could happen financially. Got to watch out for myself.
Can I ask you, in throughout the years and all the cases you've handled, has there been a spouse that has asked for something to happen in the case that you refuse to partake in?
Sure, of course. Yeah. Yeah. And if you know your client is lying or
Right.
plans to deceive the court, then you're supposed to withdraw. You're not supposed to support that, fraud upon the court system. So, yeah, so that has happened. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay. Well, let's play this a little bit more.
Did you strategize to leave him in a way that would cause or inflict maximum damage upon him?
No,
Is that something your mom ever said,
I don't
to your
remember that.
knowledge? Did you discuss with your mom how and when you would leave your marriage?
I did.
Do you recall a November 2nd, 2012 email where Dan Markel was saying to you, let's put all this aside. This is all about the kids. Let's act toward each other in a way that they can be proud of. Did he say that to you?
I remember reading an email like that.
All right, and we talked about the Aqua Ridge apartment, or I guess it was a home residence.
This is how to tell that you're.
Wait, I wanted to see about the eggs. Damn it, Judy. I'll never know how to make those eggs. Hit like, everybody, while you're
Okay,
here.
thank you. Okay, here we are again. All right.
Is this a fair and accurate photo? I've blurred your kids' faces, but of the living space there.
Thank you for doing that. Yes, that's our home.
And did your mom help you secure this place to live? Did she have any involvement in that?
She did.
Okay, what involvement did she have?
She helped me move in.
Okay, did she help you locate the place to live?
I think
at
so.
all? Okay. Did she come up and look at places with you as well?
We did.
Okay. Did Dan Markel threaten you in the pleadings with federal kidnapping charges?
He did.
And that was associated with the way he claimed that you left the marriage.
Yes.
And he says you took the kids and did not tell him where they were for several, I think I've seen days and weeks. Is that true?
It's true that he said that. It's not true that that's what happened.
What was his position on your motion to relocate?
We did talk about it before I filed it, and he was amenable to figuring it out. But once I filed it, he was against it.
Okay. Did he allege in his response that the sole stated reason that you wanted to relocate was to be closer to your parents?
He did say that in his response.
And is that the response that your mom referred to as his 23-page rant?
Probably.
She had a lot of thoughts about that particular filing, didn't she?
Yes.
Okay. And she laid those out in an email to you. I know you remember. That's the whole your non-negotiable is relocation.
Yes.
Do you recall having 2 long mediations to try to resolve your divorce without a trial?
Yes.
And were those mediations successful?
They were not.
Was Mr. Markel seeking to depose your mother as part of the divorce proceedings?
I don't remember that.
What about your brother Charlie? Did he care about whether you moved to South Florida or not?
I think so. I mean, I think he would have liked for me to be closer to him and have the kids closer to him.
Would it have been okay with him if you had made a decision to stay in Tallahassee?
I would have imagined so, yes.
And after the relocation motion was denied, you were kind of like, well, maybe I have to stay in Tallahassee. Wasn't there at least a moment of that for you?
I mean, it wasn't maybe, that was the court's decision, and I respect the court's decision, and you know, I would make the best of it.
What about Charlie? Was he outraged by the court's decision?
I honestly don't remember him being outraged.
But to your mom, it was a big deal.
My mom was really upset.
It was described by your mom in several places as like a life and death proposition. Do you agree with that?
I think my mom thought my life in Tallahassee wasn't good.
Is it true that you never would have left Dan Markel without your mom's suggestions?
Overruled, she may answer the question based on her own knowledge.
I would have left Danny regardless of anyone else's input. I was very unhappy.
Did you ever write that you would have never left him without your mom's suggestions?
I don't remember saying that.
Please refer to tab 41 and see if it refreshes your memory.
I do say here I wouldn't have done it on my own. I say my parents and brother's suggestions and support.
Okay.
I think because I wasn't happy, but part of me thought maybe I would just stay until the kids grew up.
All right, I think you already testified you did not offer your mom your divorce petition to edit. Is that your testimony?
Sorry,
Did you
What's the
send your
question?
divorce petition to your mother to assist you in editing it?
I don't remember doing it.
Okay, and did your mom also pretend to be you to Mercer University to help you complete your divorce affidavit?
I have no memory of that.
Got a little pop out here of this email from your mom. Obviously, I pretended to be you contacting these financial institutions. Is that something that she would normally do on your behalf? Pose as you?
I had very little understanding or involvement of my financial situation, and so that might have been an account that my dad had created for me or that had like co-signatory authority. So that's possible.
Okay.
Can I ask Judy, was her mom a lawyer?
No, her mom was a former kindergarten teacher, very briefly before she became a housewife, and then she was the office manager for the dad's dental practice.
Okay. And she's on trial right now for
Yes,
murder?
this
for
is
this
at
murder?
Donna's trial because there's actually been 4 different trials, all having to do with Dan Markel's murder. The first one was 2019 for the actual hitman, Sigfredo Garcia, and his baby mama, Katie Magpanua, who was Charlie Adelson's ex-girlfriend / friends with benefits.
Wow. So
Then,
Charlie helped orchestrate this? That's been
oh, of
proven?
course.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I went to Charlie's trial. That was back in 2023. And Charlie was convicted. The second trial was Katie again because she had a mistrial. She had a hung jury the first time. And then the fourth trial was last fall for Donna, who is their mom. Yeah. So she got convicted and sentenced to life, too.
No shit. She looks mean. She looks scary, that mom. When they cut to her in that courtroom, I'm like, I just picture her doing one of these thumbs down, you know.
Well,
And
she's
you're
done
involved
much
in trying to,
worse.
well, she's involved in looking into finances. Excuse me, way too involved. She's all over the place. This mom.
Yeah. Well, supposedly when she and Wendy were plotting her
Yeah.
departure from the house, Donna used her maiden name to secure the rental property for Wendy to quickly move into with the kids when she ditched Dan. So that's how deeply involved they are with planning things and plotting things and thinking of schemes, making sure they can't be found out.
So at this point, in your opinion, do you think she knew of this plan that was happening
Of
and what
course.
was going? You're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was even, I mean, this is my opinion, of course, YouTube terms of service, but of course she was totally in the thick of it, but they knew they had to shield her because she would be the first one investigators would look at as being involved in this murder conspiracy. So according to a cellmate of Sigfredo Garcia's, apparently the family had previously paid $50,000 to a different hitman back in 2013 to try to kill Dan, but they got ripped off, so the job didn't get done. Then with this new set of hitmen, they were supposed to go kill him in June of 2014, but they lost track of him. So the job didn't get done. Finally, July, it had to be done. So it makes no sense that they wouldn't reach out to Wendy to know Dan's detailed schedule.
You just can't get a good hitman these days. Sounds like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they found people who had never killed anyone before, and they goofed up all over the place. First of all, being drunk and doing drugs during the commission of the crime and being caught on security cameras and, not using a silencer so the neighbor heard the gunshot and quickly ran out to see Dan in his garage. Yeah, there are a lot of things.
What's amazing to me is how many people were involved, and yet the brother or the mother have not completely turned and testified against her yet, huh?
Yeah, because they're so enmeshed. Even the mom had sent a text to her, I think after Charlie was convicted, saying, "Everyone seeks to protect you. Your brother Charlie has protected you all these years." So of course that's like, why would mom be saying this to her if she had nothing to do with this murder? So
Fascinating.
yeah, and that's why people are still so riveted to this case, because we really thought I thought she was going to be arrested last year. So,
It's wild that everybody's going down for this except her.
Yeah. Well, there's
pretty-
still, I mean, we're still holding out thinking she could still be arrested, but I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah. So, okay. Well, why don't we watch for a few more minutes, then we can address the chats and talk about our favorite topic. So,
You got it.
okay.
Here, did you forward a letter that was written on or sent to you on December 19th of 2013 from Dan Markel, where he was kind of wanting you back and making a lot of concessions? I'll stop coming home late, etc. Do you recall that?
I do.
long email? Did you forward that to your mother?
I very well may have.
And do you recall she replied with sort of a paragraph by paragraph breakdown of that, Dan Markel email?
So I see that here. I mean, I certainly didn't remember, but I see that there's a response here.
Okay. I think I've got her responses. Did you respond to her? Very nicely done, Mom. This is great.
It looks like I did, yes.
TurboTax, everybody. Hit like for TurboTax.
Responses. I guess they've got a joint email, so how do we know it's Mom and not Dad? Do we?
I don't.
Does Dad send responses like these? This is all the response. Would Harvey detail like that in a response?
No, but it could be that my dad and mom were talking and that she was the scribe, right? That they were, that it reflects both of their thoughts and that my mom's the one writing it.
And many of the emails are signed Mom and Dad, or they reference Dad and I feel this way. Was it common for your mom to express for the two of them a certain position?
Yes.
And in this particular email, so this is a little confusing, but she responds paragraph by paragraph, K3, K5, K6, referencing Dan Markel's email to you and refuting each paragraph. And she felt that his position was outrageous, right?
Yes.
And she thought his religious practices were extreme, didn't she?
She did, yes.
She was extremely concerned about the well-being of the children in reference to his religious practices.
Yes.
She wanted a psychological evaluation of Mr. Markel.
Yes.
Didn't need a psychological evaluation, did he?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Was he an extremely intelligent, accomplished law professor?
Yes.
Did your mom ever call Dan Markel any disparaging names around this time frame?
She did.
Okay, including piece of shit,
Yes.
asshole,
Yes.
a narcissist,
Yes.
a bully,
Yes.
a bastard.
Yes.
Did your mom help you prepare for your meetings with your divorce lawyer?
My mom offered help, but I don't think I needed help preparing for meetings with my divorce lawyer.
Who was your divorce lawyer?
Kristen Adamson.
Your mom, in an email dated January 9th, 2013, indicates that she thinks the job opportunities that you had in South Florida was a major bargaining chip in your divorce. Did you agree with that?
Did I agree with it at the time?
Yes.
I don't remember.
And she did a lot of work sort of making arguments to that point, didn't she?
I believe so.
And did you forward your correspondence with your lawyer to your mother?
I did.
Publishing 64. I'm gonna skip.
So funny. As soon as she said, "Did your mom help you with the divorce proceedings with your lawyer? And she goes, I don't. And as soon as she was like, I said, this lawyer's going to bring up an email in about 3 or 4 questions that shows her saying just that. And boom, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. We could see the evolution of how quick and precise the prosecutors have gotten from each trial. Because at the first trial, maybe even the second trial, they didn't expect Wendi to lie so much. So the first couple of trials, she was just acting all ditzy and smiling and giggling and flirting with one of the male attorneys and stuff, just lying her head off. But by this fourth trial, the prosecution had huge binders of exhibits to cross-examine her with every time she tried to lie.
Yeah, if you're this involved in your kid's marriage and the issues that people go through in marriages, if you're this involved and the husband ends up dead, it's gonna be a long road to try and distance yourself from that happening. Again, I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that this family's just going down for her. Like it's just wild. That's crazy to me because families have turned on each other for so much less.
Yeah.
It's just wild. These people are going to prison for the rest of their lives. They're going to die in a prison, and they're like, well, as long as she's okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
well,
wild.
I think it's also because they're all a bunch of narcissists, so
Yeah.
they would never admit that they had a hand in killing Dan Markel. Like, why would Charlie finally, after all these years, come out and say, okay, I did it, and this is what happened? And he would also have to turn on, most likely, both his parents to get some sort of deal. You can't just point at Wendi and say, yeah, Wendi was involved without telling the full truth.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing me in on this. I appreciate it. I like this.
Maybe this is something you can cover if there's no Stuttering John content for a while, because people love true crime.
Let me tell you something. Based off of last night, people loved us covering Hervé Villachez from Fantasy Island, the little guy from Fantasy Island. That was fascinating.
What made you want to cover that?
Somebody sent us. Somebody found us a clip of him on the old Merv Griffin show singing a song, and him and Merv had a little interview, and it's fascinating. If you know his life story, like remember that True Hollywood Stories they used to do, right? So his is trippy, man. His is like he was a huge womanizer. He's getting laid left and right. Every
And
day
he's
was
the
Fantasy
midget,
Island.
right?
Yeah,
He's that
yeah.
weird-looking midget from Fantasy. I mean, I was pretty young when that show was popular, but it's just weird.
Let me tell you something. Dude was a deal closer. Deal closer. Yeah. He. I mean, women just threw themselves at this guy. It was crazy, but it was very fun to watch, and I love old stuff like that. Old showbiz. You know, we watch a lot of old Jerry Lewis interviews because he was such a pompous asshole in these interviews, and it's so great that old school entertainment. They were all such assholes, and it's fun to watch. I love that.
Yeah, but how can you show it without getting copyright struck or getting
Because
strikes?
we run the media. We're Jews. What up?
Huh?
Represent.
What? Come on. You can't.
No, there's some things that you can watch, and then there's some things that you can't. And it's been a long process. We've learned a lot of times the hard way what you can't watch. But you know, one of the things, a show that is no longer running, odds are you could probably get away with watching that. Like
So
Jerry
that's
Lewis.
why you had to dig so far back. I mean, I don't even remember Jerry Lewis.
We were watching. Jerry Lewis used to have his own talk show in 1984. The Jerry Lewis show. It lasted 1 week. It was like 4 episodes, and we were watching some of that. And yeah, I'm fascinated by that old school Hollywood and entertainment. And they all hated each other, and they all pretended to love each other, and smoking and drinking and just being, you know, idiots to each other. I loved it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's address our nice fans in the chat here. Let's see, where was I? Oh, thank you, Florida fan. Always being supportive. Thank you, Tony Baloney. Thank you, Kim, for joining the membership. It's nice to see you. Hi, Miss Judy. Hello, Jew. You rule Rico tonight.
Yes, Rico tonight, 8 o'clock, TSN, the Shuli Network. Thank you.
So, how often do you go to Rumble as opposed to YouTube?
Well, last night we didn't go to Rumble at all. If we are gonna play John stuff, then currently we go to Rumble because since mid-November he's filed over 30 strikes against us that we've countered every single one. All of them are gone. We've countered strikes within minutes. He's just frivolously striking us, trying to silence us, trying to keep us from making jokes because he doesn't like the jokes. And so, yeah, we'll keep going, you know?
Well, how do you like Rumble compared to YouTube?
There is some stuff that I'm not crazy about on Rumble, but it's, at the end of the day, to have a platform where you can go to when you're trying to be silenced and attacked. It's great to have that option. And again, mentioning super tip, if you have an ability to go somewhere else and you have an ability to bring in income from somewhere else, those are two huge things for creators out there.
Yeah. So with Rumble, can people super chat you, and what percentage gets taken?
It's the same cut as YouTube. They take 30%. There's Rumble rants, which are like the super chats. So yeah, people can still, donate, contribute. There's there's not a membership thing like on YouTube, but there is a subscription. Basically, the subscriptions are like $5. People can gift them like they gift memberships, but all the subscription does is allow you to bypass the ads. There's a lot of ads that run on Rumble. So
Yeah, I've seen.
yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bob. Thank you. Judy is an angel. I don't know. Some people seem to really hate me too. So, thank you, Mike's on Ice. Love you, Shuli. Write some pretty good stuff. At least I think I do. You should get it. Okay, he's talking about that super
tip. Yeah.
tips chat. Okay, lets people contribute to the show. Feels more connected. Okay, that's great. This is killing me because I followed Judy for the Markel trial. I knew the Adelsons. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I think this is the person who said his ex's sister or something lived across the street from them, and the families wanted to set her up with Charlie. And Charlie's known to be like a total douchebag who, liked to screw around, and he had an Asian fetish. So that's part of the allure of the story, is he's a crazy character. Okay. Wow, your worlds have totally collided. Yeah, that's very, very cool. Judy handled my divorce. I can't share details. Oh, come on. Okay. I'm sure this is a joke, but let's just say we japped my ex. That is such an outdated racial term. Like, I don't even hear people say that anymore. It's like,
Not since Pearl Harbor, huh? They stopped
obsolete.
using that.
Yeah. Shuli DM'd me, told me to come in here and be mean, but I just can't do it. Judy is just too nice. Oh, okay.
See? I can't count on you for anything, Guillermo.
Okay. Oh, look, it's Ms. Rudy. You're not very smart, Ms. Rudy. I know, I'm Vencescal.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on your new nickname?
Yeah, well, that's fine, because I was just laughing when I heard his rant. And once again, I didn't watch it live because it's just too slow. And, most of the time it's pretty boring, especially if he doesn't have guests. And of course, he's going to blow up about that. But, that's okay. I liked Rudy from the Cosby Show, so. And at least, he could have gone lower. He could have made fun of my speech problems, my vocal medical problems. He could have made more like racial Asian slurs and stuff, but he didn't stoop that low. So I give him respect for that. Thank you, John.
we're also not at the end game yet, so all that stuff could be coming. Judy.
Yeah, I mean, he did call me an effing F. I don't know if I
Right.
should say that, but, I was like, okay, dude, I was still willing to send him a nice care package, like a box of liver detox tea and my favorite peach detox tea and, more salads, something good. Something good has to come of this.
Judy, do the right thing. Send him a case of beer and let's get this over with already. Let's go. That's all he cares about anyway.
Well, I'm not that mean-spirited. I don't want him to die of liver failure or croak on the air, which some people say they want to see. That's just really mean to say
sure
about
is.
someone. A total stranger who is entertaining us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chase Hughes, behavior expert, could have had an analysis of body behavior. Yeah, some of these people that are too big on YouTube, I don't think they would waste their time on a smaller channel. Yeah.
I'm telling you, look into, and I'll help you if you want, look into getting a professional poker player to come on and talk to you about tells and signs in a person's face. With the amount, if you watch the amount, I was looking at the amount of time she's blinking while speaking.
I noticed that.
Yes, that's a very big tell. That's so in Israel, when you fly out from Israel, right, to anywhere, their TSA are all college graduates that majored in psychology, right? And so their questions for you, they'll ask you like 2 or 3 questions, and then they'll slip in a question that has nothing to do with the flight. So they'll be like, where were you born? What was your purpose of your visit? Are you circumcised? And they throw that one in. So like for the person that doesn't bat an eye and just answers it normally as if it's a normal question, their mind's on something else. That's the way they're looking at it, is they're not even hearing what you said because they're focusing on something else. Whatever that next stage is or phase or place they need to get to, that's what they're thinking about. So when you ask somebody, are you circumcised? They go, huh? What? Like, then now the person's in the moment listening. They're not thinking about the next bullshit or whatever it is. Little shit like that fascinates me.
Interesting. Yeah.
And yes, I am circumcised, ladies. What's up?
Oh, I wasn't going to ask you that. This is mostly
Your eyes asked me, Judy. Your eyes.
Okay. No, how can you see what my eyes are really doing? They're too skinny. So, yeah, but I was going to ask you, like, did you live on a kibbutz? Isn't that something that a lot of Jewish teenagers do? They're supposed to go back there and live on a kibbutz?
Maybe the best 3 months of my life were living with my aunt on her kibbutz in Israel. I fucking loved it. It was so great. That's what we try to make TSN. Our chat is just one big kibbutz, everybody helping each other out, everybody looking out for each other and taking care of whoever needs to get taken care of. It's a good system they got over there in those kibbutzes. I like it.
But what is it? Is it a farm? What are you supposed to do?
So it's a community where everybody chips in. Everybody's a part of this community. You work for where you live, right? There's education, there's agriculture, there's everything in this kibbutz where like kids from middle school can stay in dorm rooms. They can sleep at home, but they can stay in dorm rooms at the school as well. Like everything is tied into this community. Everybody chips in. It's like a commune. It's like a hippie commune, but everybody works. Everybody busts their ass. Everybody's got different departments they run, and it's a well-oiled machine. I dig it.
So what did you do there?
No, I was
jokes.
a kid. I learned how to drink beer with a spoon when I was on the kibbutz. That's why I loved it. I didn't have any jobs. You just ride bikes everywhere. You go swimming. It was a blast. I loved it.
So it's sort of like a summer camp experience?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that
Yeah.
sounds
I would
like
go.
fun.
I would go live in a kibbutz in a heartbeat.
Cool.
I'd love that.
Did they speak English there?
Yeah. A lot of volunteers from all over the world come and stay at kibbutzes, and they work for the summer or for the year when they're staying out there for the kibbutz. And a lot of them end up staying there and living there permanently. They love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds very interesting. Okay, thank you, Mark. Judy gets super tips. You don't need the voices. Actually, I like the voices. It's really funny, especially with the Mexican accent. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not politically correct, but it still makes me laugh.
Well, that's why it's funny, because it's not politically correct.
Thanks for having our Shuli. That's nice. You have some nice fans out there.
We have the best. We do.
Miss Judy, do you think John's IQ is really 160? I think people have asked me that before. I don't think so. Yeah. And
All right,
of
what
course
about
he'll-
130? You think he's cracking 130?
I don't think so. I don't even know, but what's an average IQ? Something like
Well, I think
90?
Einstein was 130 or 160. So if that if that helps gauge anything.
Well, I'm sure if he would just stop drinking and doing drugs, I'm sure he would come across more intellectual. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
Thank you, Sean. Okay. They should have hired Hitman Dan. Yeah, someone more competent than Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Yeah.
Yeah. John sent a hitman Dan to one of my comedy shows in Long Island to threaten me a while
Why?
back.
Why?
Well, Dan was told by John that I go on stage and make jokes about his family, which I don't talk about John at all when I'm on stage, because having to explain it and the situation, and it's way too much setup for not enough payoff, right? And so I'm doing this show in Long Island at I think McGuire's, and all of a sudden this dude shows up with a cane, and he's limping, and he's like, "You Shuli?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Might be smart if you stop talking about John." And I'm like, "Excuse me? You know, don't go up there making jokes about his kids." I go, "I don't make jokes about his kids. Who told you that I did? John?" He's like, "I'm just saying." I go, "So you came here to threaten me?" He goes, "Well, I'm not threatening anybody. Nobody's threatening anybody. I'm just saying, you know, might be wise for you to not do it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks. Appreciate it." And then he limped out and left. And that was that. And that's something John still denies to this day. He goes, "I didn't ask him to go down there. He went down there on his own."
That's a good
grow up.
impression. That's very
Thank
good.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
get
sure
this.
you didn't feel any real imminent threat of being assaulted then if this guy presents as like an older person using a cane and stuff. Probably sometimes people are just mentally
Well, if it isn't Miss Judy, or Rudy, I should
Rudy.
say. Hello, Rudy.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Sko?
No, you are not feeling great because your channel or your show just got taken down yesterday. Whatever shall you do today?
They only take down the best, Miss Rudy. That's why. They can't handle what I have for them. I'm going on a fight tour. Who wants to fight me? Skull!
Okay, well, maybe this will be the time that he has to reach out to Vince because Vince can help him get his channel up and running on Rumble or get it back on YouTube.
Hold on, my
since
headphones
Vince-
fell off. I missed what you said. Judy.
Okay. I was saying this is the perfect opportunity for John to reach out to Vince again because he'll probably need Vince's help in figuring out what to do with YouTube and how to transfer his show to Rumble or some other platform. Because this is a significant source of revenue, it seems.
Let me tell you something, Judy. The only thing more psychotic than the relationship between Wendi and the mom is the relationship between Vince and John. And those two will always be together. They are madly in love with each other. Vince has no purpose in life without John. And John has no beer in life without Vince. So the two will forever be together.
Yeah, like some sort of weird couple where they know they still need each other, so they're never going to totally sever ties. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it creates some fun drama. You know, that's entertainment, right? Like you could say that maybe behind the scenes they're cool with each other, but on the screen it's all for, made up conflict and laughs.
Yeah. I mean, Vince has always tried to kind of be in the spotlight based on stupid people. You know what I mean? Like riding the coattails of idiots. So, and hey, everybody's got their claim to fame. It's all good. I'm not judging anybody, but that's kind of his thing. So he's got a real winner with John. And so he's holding on tight.
Yeah. Well, just to give a plug to another fellow YouTuber, Vince actually presents as a fairly normal, likable person when he's on Mondays on this other podcast called, what is it? I forgot, Samantha Benigno's podcast. What is it? Like, I'm Not There Anymore, something like that. What the heck is it called? See, it's too long of a name that I can never remember. Oh, it's called I Don't Belong Here podcast. So her father is some famous New York radio broadcaster. I forget his name because I never heard of him, but maybe somebody will throw that in the chat. So when I saw him on Samantha's show, I was like, he can actually act sort of normal. This is bizarre. Like he wasn't throwing sexual innuendo every other sentence and being disgusting. Like, hey, do you like 69ing? Have you ever 69'd? What's scissoring? Have you ever scissored? Like all sorts of like disgusting things that turn off the true crime ladies. So.
Right.
So later I told him, see, you're so racist because on my show, you come in acting all disrespectful and chase away my loyal subscribers, but then you go on Samantha's show and you show her some respect. But I think it's also because she's the daughter of this person that he respects, and he's supposed to be the guest tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, I wish him all the luck in the world.
Yeah, that sometimes he can turn it off and seem like a respectable person. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Nomad. How funny is it that dirtbag SJ got struck? Haha. Yeah, how did you feel when you found out about that?
I feel like I've always felt karma's a real thing. And, this guy sitting up here threatening people's channels, going after people's channels, trying to take them down. There's days where we've had 3 strikes in a row filed by him, literally trying to nuke our channel. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel, it sucks that we're at this stage of things here, because at the end of the day, it's all just supposed to be ball busting and fucking around with each other. Some people can take it, some people can't, and the people who can't are doing this. The problem is you now have painted yourself into a corner. So now people that don't like you see you running around doing victory laps about taking somebody's channel down. They're unfortunately going to try and do the same to you. It's now a challenge to these people, and it's stupid, but it's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and you had nothing to do with it, right? Like people said it was because of him threatening Tukey.
Let me tell you something. This dude, like I said, has struck us over 30 times since mid-November, okay? If and when I decide to strike him, there will be no mixed messages about this was taken down because of, Amanda Hug and Kiss. It will say TSN. It will say this has been taken down by the Shuli Network. I have no problem in hitting him back and letting him taste what it's like to be on the receiving end of this bullshit. And I haven't had to do it. So whoever's done it, there's been a lot of people that have taken credit for it. Whoever did it because they had enough, apparently. And I would say maybe he learned his lesson from this, but I've been covering the guy for a while, so he has not learned his lesson. And
Yeah. And speaking of doxing people, so people said that he was doxing Lucy, Typebox, and myself, and I didn't see a lot of it because, like I said, sometimes the show is just so boring. I can't stand it anymore. Just turn it off. I have more productive things to do. But later I did hear him say my last name. So I have to give him also props for sort of knowing how to pronounce my last name correctly, because most people, including myself, to make it easier, I just tell people the wrong way to pronounce my last name.
Yep.
So he did a little bit of research there. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, you can insult me and call me what did he call me also, like a dumb fuck and a fucking idiot, and
Can I ask you, as a lawyer, as an attorney, is it a smart thing to do to dox someone who's a witness in a lawsuit? Is it a good look, I guess, is a better
Well, it
question.
doesn't look good, but there's nothing illegal about it. I mean, especially if she did an affidavit for the lawsuit, which is public record. So,
Well, it was redacted. It was not.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, I didn't know.
yeah, certain information was redacted, much like on John's affidavits. So I was just curious as to, how
Yeah.
that might be
I mean, it's
perceived.
not ethical, but there's nothing really illegal about it, because to me, it's like, well, I am who I am, and thank God I don't work for a law firm or some major corporation or government entity. So, if people want to contact me for legitimate reasons, like if you have some sort of legal problem in North Carolina, then that's fine. I'm out there. So,
Right.
yeah, as long as people aren't going to do something totally crazy. Yeah. Beer, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. No, I totally hate beer. It doesn't taste
Me
good.
too.
It has tons of calories, and I start feeling woozy after just like a few sips. So,
Yeah.
What
I'm like
about
you. I'm
you?
I'm a lightweight Asian woman when it comes to drinking. I don't need much.
okay. So it was easy for your wife to take advantage of you.
Always easy.
Okay. Mike Morse called you a yellow kazoo. Thoughts? Well, I mean,
He
that's
did
funny.
not.
Well, if he did, that's funny because,
It's Mike Morse. He's better than that. He can come up with better. No, actually, I think he did. There's a YouTuber that we know, Yellow Kazoo, who came on our show. I told you about this show. We do the Raid, where we find
Oh,
other
yeah.
small YouTube shows and we pop on and introduce ourselves. And so we found this woman, Yellow Kazoo. And I think somebody mentioned, get Yellow Kazoo back on the show. And he goes, we'll reach out to Judy. I think is what he said.
No, I mean, he is really a comedic genius, because I was just thinking about that today, that it's really hard to do comedy right in the written form. So he wrote all the time for these magazines. And,
Yeah.
you have to have lots of knowledge of pop culture and,
Well,
you
not
know,
just magazines too. He writes for comedians. Like when a lot of Lisa Lampanelli, a lot of the roasts she used to do on Comedy Central, he would help her out with roast stuff. When comics go on certain talk shows and they give him a list of topics, he helps write jokes for that. He's still known in the comedy world as a go-to guy to help out with stuff. He's as much as I hate to say it, he's pretty brilliant.
Ah, okay. So how do you get him to be on your show?
Let's just say I have some photos, compromising sort, and we used to do a show back in the day on Sirius called Miserable Men. Myself, Mike, Bob Levy, and we ended up not doing that show anymore for a while. And then when we started podcasting, we brought Miserable Men back first. Then we started doing Uncle Rico, and Mike's been a part of stuff ever since. Mike's just one of those dudes that, like, if I have an idea for something, I'm like, Mike, could you do that? And boom. And half the time, you don't even have to ask. Mike's coming up with songs and bits and games.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
he's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the creativity and stuff. I'm like thinking, isn't he too big for this stuff? Like making fun of Stuttering John and all that.
Yeah, we all are, but we enjoy it, and we get to
Yeah.
hang out together. So that's what counts,
Yeah. And why is it called Uncle Rico?
So there's a character in Napoleon Dynamite, the movie, his whose name is Uncle Rico. It's his uncle, and it's a guy in his 40s who is still wearing his high school football jacket, and he's just stuck in the past, and
Yeah.
he's never moved forward. So that's why we decided to call it the Uncle Rico Show.
Ah, okay. Is it because John reminded you of the character, or was it?
Yeah,
some
he has
other
not
reason?
moved on. He's still living in that past. He's at one point in the movie, Uncle Rico says, "I bet I could throw this football over that mountain." And it's like, you can't, but that's the way he sees
Yeah,
himself,
if it
and
makes you
that's
get
John.
through life to
Yeah.
still relive your glory days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Super B Smith. Big fan, Miss Judy. Not too many can give entertaining insight on both complex legal cases and point Dabble point. Thank you. Yeah, it's just that there's always something to laugh about. Like people shouldn't take themselves too seriously or get easily offended or something. We need more humor to cope. Just as John said, they should call it the Copaverse. Yeah, like we're all a bunch of losers that need him and we revolve around him. And we should call it the Copaverse. Okay, hi, Shuli, Miss Judy, F. John for what he said about you. He does hate smart women. Yeah, it's so bizarre. This is like rapid cycling bipolar disorder or something, some sort of disorder where one moment he's like singing my high praises. Then the next show, it's like he's calling me names and cursing at me and making up stories saying I didn't do any research before I did my live with the law professor. That's not true.
It's why it's so enjoyable for everyone watching is because it's a car crash we all see coming, except for the person who's in the car with John. Whenever John makes a new friend, it's always the same thing. Thank you, love you.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
never
beautiful. The
you're
most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
let me fly you out.
Yeah, bang you on
yeah.
top of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, and it's always like, I'll never turn on you. And all of us are just setting the clock. We're just going, all right, let's all watch this and wait for when the turn happens. And it always, always happens. Always.
Yeah, what's bizarre is that when I did that show with Professor Patuto, our intention was not to make fun of him or to bash his lawsuit or, just to ridicule him. We were trying to be objective and sort of professional about it, but he still took it as a personal slight.
Because you guys didn't come on and say, John has an excellent chance of winning this case. That's what he's upset. It has nothing to do with the amount of research you did, which, by the way, fuck you, John. Like, these people take time out of their lives to look at this stupid, idiotic lawsuit. The fact that they sat through 10 minutes of research is impressive, much less any more that they could have done. But it's never enough for him unless you agree flat out, you echo his fucking talking points. That's the only way you do things right. And if you veer from that in any way, shape, or form, how dare a professor of law have questions, right? Like who the fuck are you, John? Like, let these people break it down. You don't like what they hear? Okay. Too bad. That's life. There's shit we all hear we don't like. We move on with our lives. We don't declare a fatwa on Miss Judy and Professor
and
Joe.
start resorting to cursing, name calling.
Yeah,
and,
he's a fucking child.
Insulting people. Yeah, it is pretty bizarre. But once again, I was just laughing the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody actually acts like this. Is this an act? Like,
Right.
Is he just doing it to get more views and clicks and super chats, or is he really that incensed? Because most people would think like, okay, I should talk to my attorney about this. Let me schedule a consultation with my astute attorney who knows the law better than these two idiots on YouTube. And, we'll talk about my case and the strategy and go over the case law or something, So anyway, it was funny though. It's all, to me, it's still all in good fun because I'm not physically there with him. But
Yeah.
there are times that he does seem like he's borderline violent.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing, that Professor Joe is not somebody I would want to test. So if John, John better keep his yap shut because Professor Joe doesn't look like she takes any crap from anybody.
Yeah, she would probably just smile at him and nod her head and say something very professional and not
Right.
sink to such lowbrow name calling and cursing.
Yeah, I got to try that sometime.
Oh, do you have to go? I'm sorry. Why do you
No.
always? Okay, once again, I don't mean to insult you, but you always look like you're like sinking down into the
I know.
corner of your screen. Why is
I know.
that?
Well, because it bothers you, so I've been slowly
So you keep
melting.
doing it then.
Yeah. I've been slowly melting this entire
Because,
show,
like,
waiting for you to notice.
The YouTubers are not supposed to just like stick their head in a corner.
Hey,
know?
Judy, when you get super tips, then you can lecture me on how to
once I can
broadcast.
give up my career to do a podcast all day. Okay, yeah, actually, we do have a date scheduled to be with Kaylee, which is Monday, February 9th, 5
Is this
o'clock.
better, Judy?
Yeah, a little bit, but you're still not in the middle. You should be in the center.
Judy, my high school dropout story. Don't you know I march to my own drum. I go my own direction, Judy. You can't. I know you want to put a saddle on this stallion, but you just can't tame me, Judy. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. And all due respect to your wife, right?
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
So yeah, we'll be on next Monday, not tomorrow, but February 9th with Sheeterson. And I'm so
I love it.
thrilled to,
Brilliant.
possibly
Brilliant.
be on a
That-
podcast with him.
if I can just say, that is one of the coolest things about the Dabbleverse is running into all these really brilliant people that are so talented in so many different fields, and seeing them put in their time, effort, energy into something so stupid. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, we all have to have our hobbies, right? I love that
Yes.
what was that little movie? Did you have something to do with making that movie
Yes.
that just came
Oh.
out?
Which movie? The dummy one? No, but
Yeah.
the gentleman who did make that, Seth Martin, is a big TSN fan for many years. He's a brilliant artist, and he put together our little intro at the very beginning with the John puppet. He did all that himself for Rico, and he made that, and it's unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. What's his YouTube channel? So we can
I think that one
plug
is
it.
called Rathbone International. Let me double check here, and so we give out the right
Okay.
channel.
Well, that cooey voice sounded sort of like you. So I
Yeah,
didn't know if you did it.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. Rathbone International.
Okay.
Oh, that's a porn site. No, I'm
What?
kidding. Here it is. Rathbone International Pictures is the name of his channel.
yeah.
I highly recommend
thumbs
going to
up.
check out Dummy, the Stuttering John Story official trailer.
I mean, I really wish that John could watch this stuff and just laugh with us. It's more fun to laugh than it is to get all red-faced and angry and cursing nonstop on a live stream show.
Yeah.
He should enjoy it. He should appreciate all the attention. People just love him for the entertainment value.
Yep.
Yeah. So, sorry, let me try to take that off. Okay, so it's called Rathbone International Pictures. Okay, so guys, if you want a fun laugh, be sure to watch that. Yeah. Okay, Shuli really doesn't want to talk about SJ, but his fans, that's all they want, and it's so funny. Shuli, you made your own hell, loving every minute of it.
Thank you, Reverend Rage. This guy, let me tell you what this guy, he's one of John's biggest fans. And he, no matter what show I'm doing, where it's at, what time, he's in the chat. He loves talking about me.
Okay. Well, did you try to cover other topics?
Yeah, we did last night for over 2 hours, had 1,000
yeah.
views, made great money, and didn't play one John clip. And
Oh,
I get it.
okay.
John is nervous about it. His fans are nervous about it because John knows at this point, when we shut the faucet off, it's all going off. John needs us to talk about him more than we need John to talk about
Yeah,
us.
because then he has something to react to. I mean, what else is he
Well, and
going
then he
to
makes
talk
money.
about?
Then he
Yeah.
makes money. What we've established is we can make money not talking about John. Can John say the same? I think not.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You're one hot piece. That's nice given how old I am. So, Shuli, tell Judy high pitch history. Skull. You mean high pitch Eric?
Yeah, I mean, when you say history, like that's
does
a
that mean?
lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. What specifically do you want me to tell her about high pitch?
I mean, did you have interactions with him?
Oh, sure.
Was he on the show with you? Because I don't
yeah.
know the whole history of all this.
Yeah, so when I did like the news thing, when I was a news reporter for Howard's news team, my beat was the Whack Pack. My beat was all those guys: High Pitch, Eric the Actor, Beetlejuice, all the Whack Packers. I kept tabs on all of them, kind of the conduit between them and the show, and feeding the show stories and clips and whatever is going on in their lives. So High Pitch was definitely a guy that I spent a lot of time with. He's a trip.
So, do you feel that Vince took advantage of him? Because from the comments, I get people saying that Vince was bad or mean to him.
I mean, I don't, Vince is just a fucking weird dude, and he always takes things too far, and then he'll turn to you and be like, "What's your problem about it?" Like it's your fault, and it's like, all right, it is what it is. He wired High Pitch's apartment with cameras. High Pitch was making money from it. I'm not going to deny that, but again, when there are times where High Pitch wanted it to stop, it didn't. So, but Vince has also showered him with gifts and taken him to Yankee Stadium. This is what he does. He takes mentally ill people and he attaches money to their lives, and then they are connected to this guy for a long, long time. So his new High Pitch is John. That's who he's been working on for a while.
Okay, interesting. Right. Mike Morse wants to do things to. Oh, come on. I'm sure he's very professional.
He is, but he's also a freak.
Really? Okay, well, I don't know much about him. So if it's not John, TSN is making fun of obese or mentally challenged people. Shuli, you're not a good human. Not at this time.
Oh, what happened? You don't like jokes about obese people? This is what's funny, is these people now police what's right and wrong. Meanwhile, they're just as guilty of saying horrible shit about people, but now they're going to show up like the morale. If you don't like us watching videos with heavy-set people and making jokes about it, don't watch Reverend Rage.
And it's also like, then who can you make fun of? Then?
Right.
Because
I mean,
a lot of comedy is not politically correct.
Keep
It's
drawing
supposed to be
lines.
shocking.
Yeah, this is John. He is against free speech. He is against the First Amendment, and everything he does proves that, along with his people. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Barnes and Noobs. Just for the record, Dummy called you a stupid fucking fuck again, showing off his lightning quick wit. Well, I did see that clip, and it seemed like he was struggling to think like what to call me. But good on him for not calling me racial slurs. So that much I appreciate. Thank you, John.
It's coming. It'll arrive at some point.
Biting your tongue.
That's my guess.
Although I'm sure in his head he was thinking a lot of those racial slurs.
Oh, yeah.
Confucius say, she who kissed stuttering John only left what's not on face. Skull.
Skull, skill rules. Good to see you.
Okay. Thank you for that laugh. Shuli, have you told Judy about Isolino? Why not? Well, that hasn't come up, but
I'm sure
what
Vince has filled her in on everything.
No, not really. But from what I've read, he's in prison for kitty corn, right? Okay.
Bad shit, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean,
Right. But people like him and John and Vince and others have, for the last, 2.5 years, tried to somehow tie me into that. That is their goal. Again, the guy lecturing about making fundamentally challenged people has no problem mocking a horrific crime against children in order to somehow hope and pray that I am tied in with this, which is disgusting. So that's where they're at.
okay. Miss Judy, doxing a witness in a lawsuit isn't illegal. Well, I mean, it depends on what you define as doxing. I don't think just saying their name.
Well, but let me ask you this.
Illegal,
If the
but
person
intimidating someone is.
if the person specifically asks for their info to be redacted when this stuff is made public, which people have done on John's side as well, isn't that them saying that I do not want my real name out there, right? Their information out there, if they're making that request. So if you then get that information and start talking about using their first and last name, talking about where they work, in what city, probably not good.
No, that does sound worse and worse the more info you give, because there are plenty of sort of mentally unhinged people online who probably would do things like
Sure.
sending pizzas or sending things to people to try to intimidate them, or making stupid threatening phone calls. Yeah. How do you explain the 90 years that Aiden? Yeah, so that's totally different. I mean, it depends on the level of doxing and whether it was done to intimidate someone from being involved with some sort of lawsuit or criminal case. Yeah. Here's my idea: call John and flirt with him, record. No. I mean, it's already gone too far where, he knows I'm not 100% with him. So it's like, you're either with me or against me. So it's very black and white to him. So
Yes.
I'm sure he said before I was dead to him, but then he sent me the link, and then once again, everything was hunky-dory. Then he turned on me again. So, this is crazy. I mean, it's funny. It's funny, though.
He's had about 47 funerals for Vince now that Vince has been dead to him. So don't worry. You'll be back.
Yeah. Well, he needs Vince. Vince really brightens up the show. There's something interesting. It's not just
Ironically,
him
he's
yelling.
the only one that needs Vince. All of you could survive without him. John definitely needs him.
Oh, well, I mean, it seems like I said, it's very strange to see Vince acting like a normal, respectable person. Well, he's still like, weird 10% of the time, but the personality change is kind of strange when you see him on Samantha's podcast. John has called Shuli's wife fat and has body shamed Shuli's children. He's vengeful, spiteful, and simply not a good person. Is that true?
Yeah, I just don't go around crying about it like John everywhere. But yeah, he's posted pictures of my wife. He's threatened me with. He's threatened me by saying he has pictures of my kids, and one day they're going to be 18. And I've always thought, why are you accepting pictures of underage children from who's sending you that, first of all? Then why are you accepting it? And if it's me, I would out that fucking person, and I'd say, yo, such and such is sending me pictures of somebody's kids. I don't want to fucking see that. I don't care about this person's kids. But no, John uses it as a weapon. That's John.
Okay. Yeah, your family should be, just not brought into this because you don't put them on your show. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Digging this duo, TSM was my gateway to the Dabbleverse. Thank you, Dirty Jersey Rat.
Dirty Jersey Rat's a great clipper. Check out his channel. Making some great clips these days. Good to see you, Dirty
Yeah,
Jers.
thank you. Loving this duo. Okay, he sent it twice. That's nice. Thank you. Hey, Poker Miguel, does John have any redeeming qualities? Yes, and this is why I don't know why he hates me so much, because ultimately it's great entertainment. I love it. You know, it's like this is a weird world of people who have somehow gravitated toward the sun. And we need him to cope with our miseries of day-to-day life. I mean, I've laughed so much. It's not just at John personally, but the Clippers, you know, like people who crack jokes and put together witty things like Dabbling Doofus and stuff. I've laughed so much, and it's great. That's what I need, because my day-to-day work life is so miserable. So, you know, because I have to deal with sad people, and you have to put on a sad, serious face. You can't smile. You have to just sit there listening and get all these people's problems dumped on you. And, you know,
Yeah, it's like
it's a
you always
great-
hear stories of these billionaires that you know, love going to a dominatrix and having their nuts stepped on. You know, sometimes you like a little change of pace.
Yeah, exactly. Because when people tell me stories, even if it's funny, I can't laugh. Like,
Right.
you know, I was in court last week, and my client had to get on the stand and talk about his wife being a chronic masturbator who was watching horse bestiality porn loudly. And I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't. And,
sure.
you know, you just sit there and like, yes.
Can
Okay.
I make a suggestion? Get her as a co-host. Your legal channel will go through the goddamn roof. I'll
Well,
tell you
this is
that.
public record, but of course she
Right.
denied it and said a bunch of stuff because, as John says, it's true. In family court, there are two sides to every story. People will lie, embellish, you know, try to make themselves look better and stuff. But it's great to, after a very, very serious day, to just kick up kick up your feet and laugh
Yeah.
at stuff. And, you know, it's great, even though it is a very juvenile universe.
Absolutely.
You know, I told Vince, you guys act like 12-year-olds. Like, I can't
Yes.
believe you're
Yes, he
watching
does.
this.
Yes,
It's
he
like a
does.
bunch of like 12-year-old boys. You know? Yeah, so that is the redeeming quality, is that he does bring entertainment and laughter and joy to some people. Yeah. Look at Stuttering John. He is Costco size. Actually, he's not Costco size. There are lots of people who are much more obese than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And
getting
he
there.
says
Give him
he's in
time.
the gym. He says he's working out all the time and flexing his biceps.
Yeah, I think the bar he goes to is called the gym. So I think when he's telling you he's at the gym, he's just at the bar. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, it's like this bar that's called the office. So people would
Right.
say, I'm going to the office.
Right.
Yeah. John's doxing has always done us a threat. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. But to me, I don't care. I mean, my name is out there. My website is out there. You know. Remember this. Shuli lies and manipulates. He's claimed that I had pictures of his own children. Oh, none of that was true. And I do not know John in real life. You care to
Okay.
respond?
Yeah, cool story, bro. Thanks, man. Sorry that the guy who follows me every show I do, super chatting, talking shit, didn't have pictures of my kids. I'm glad you drew a line somewhere. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the super chat, Reverend. There's a rumor that John's ex might be interviewed on the Dabbleverse show. As much as I'd be fascinated by it for her and her husband and kids' sake, I hope she doesn't. What, do you think that's true?
I don't know. That smells like a Vince tale to me, trying to hurt John as much as John is hurting him right now. These two queens fighting over their feelings. I would hope not. I think, you know, it's one of the reasons why I don't enjoy covering John as much, is because it's not fun anymore. It's not. It's all so dirty and personal, and like, I wish John's family the best. I don't give a fuck about John's family. I care about John being an idiot and doing a horrible show. That's what I want to focus on. Goofing on him, screwing up songs, shitting his pants, farting, whatever it is. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. I don't think his family should be involved in any of it. That being said, the person that has brought up John's family the most is John. So I just want to throw that out there.
Okay. Yeah. Did you actually work with John long time
No.
ago?
No, he used to answer the phones when I would call in with my material, and he used to put me on hold. But when I got hired, he was already gone. They had started, they were about to start at Sirius XM. So I got hired 05, 06, and was working there till,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been almost about 2 hours, so I think it's time we actually spend some time with our families and get some work done and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invite, Judy.
Thank you
and
so much.
yeah, we definitely should do this again sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of fun. And like I said, there's plenty of like people who are obsessed with the Dan Markel case as well as true crime in general. And that's why I was telling John he should look into covering true crime, because if he's so into trying to meet women, it seems like true crime is about 80% women.
It's a great suggestion, Judy, but you're suggesting it to a guy who wants to put the least amount of effort and work into everything. So like when you invited me on to break, I didn't know shit about this case. I'd
Yeah,
never heard
you
this
did
woman's name
research.
before. I watched 45 minutes or something. That's all it took to have just a starting point, some sort of reference into what the hell we're talking about. The rest, I figure if I listen and pay attention to you, I can figure out the rest as we go along. But he's too lazy to even do that.
Yeah, that's true, because the true crime broads, as Vince says,
Right.
they're not going to appreciate it when someone obviously doesn't know the facts of the case.
Right.
And because these are people who are totally glued to court TV and trial channels, law and crime, so they know the nitty gritty. And if
It would be
you
like a casual Dabbleverse fan talking to a hardcore Dabbleverse fan, and they would be like, "Dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, just go away. Just go away. We'll watch
exactly.
this." Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they know more than the broadcaster. Yeah. Oh, this is taking it off into a legal type of theme, but the difference in a dismissal with prejudice and summary judgment. Yeah. Well, a dismissal is more cursory. That has to do with whether someone's complaint even states a plausible legal cause of action. For example, you could sue and say, I want custody of your dog, but there is no legal claim to get custody of someone else's dog. So in that kind of situation, you would file a motion to dismiss to get the judge to quickly get rid of the lawsuit. And with prejudice means that it's completely over. You can't bring it up again. So whereas summary judgment, that takes place after discovery, when the sides have had more opportunities to get info from each other, like depositions, requests for documents, interrogatories. So that's where it really makes the cost of litigation more. So, of course, you hope that the case gets thrown out with the motion to dismiss, so it's over as quickly as possible. If it doesn't, then you're in for, more legal bills, deposition costs and stuff. So, yeah. So, but I know you can't talk about your lawsuit, so I
No
won't
comment,
ask you about-
Judy.
No comment.
No comment.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
yeah.
you?
I need to do more legal research. Remember, I'm such a dumb fuck. I didn't do
Yeah.
any legal research and get on YouTube and talk about a lawsuit. So I am going to read some more of the cases that John's attorney cited in his response to the motion to dismiss, because I want to make a good show with Kaylee and Sheet, whoever this Sheet person is. So,
So Sheet is the one who created these great Dabbleverse documentaries about John. He did part one, like I think a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. It was fantastic. Everybody loved it. And part two just came out this Christmas, and everybody loved that as well. So
yeah, I saw it.
yeah,
I was
Sheet's
like,
brilliant.
wow, people put this together, and who's paying for it? Is it just out of love and obsession?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
It was so well done. Okay, I'm a fan of Judy. These guys put out so much funny non-SJ content, but John asked for it by constantly being an a-hole. Yeah, so it just kind of becomes like, can I be crude and say it's like a big circle jerk where all these puerile older men, they somehow just love it. And, it's like nonstop, like John says something, you guys say something, then he says something, and he has a whole live stream for 2 hours just insulting you guys and yelling and belching. Yeah. So,
I've always said for 15 years, I worked with some of the strangest people and did some of the dumbest things on radio. And I somehow found a world where there are stranger people and even dumber shit that I'm doing online now. So I seem to have taught myself.
oh, let me ask you a random question. So I'm just getting the idea of why you were called shitware.
Yeah.
So it was just a prank to see which person could let out the most amount of feces? Is
No,
that
it
what
was-
it was?
No, it was my job on the kibbutz. When I lived in the kibbutz, I had to weigh shit. So our pal High Pitch Eric, who came up earlier, right when Howard was getting ready to debut on Sirius on satellite radio, it was this whole new world, no FCC. So they had all these ideas, all these bits that they wanted to do. One of them was called the Craptacular. And the Craptacular involved Eric, High Pitch Eric, big heavy set guy, 400 pounds, eating for 24 hours and then pooping for 24 hours. Now, here's where it gets interesting, Judy, is the team is making bets based on him pooping. For example, much like the Super Bowl with a lot of prop bets and strange bets, it would be like, could High Pitch shit more than a raccoon in one sitting? What is the total amount of weight for the shit in 24 hours? All these bets were going on. There's only one issue. They needed somebody there to document and make sure this was legitimate. So this is a true story. I'm up at Sirius. Howard is still on terrestrial radio. He hasn't started at satellite yet. His contract isn't up. I'm in this boardroom with like 20 news people, Emmy-nominated news journalists, people that have been in New York news their entire lives. And they're throwing out story ideas. And one of the people says, so Howard wants to do this Craptacular where this guy shits and they weigh it for 24 hours. But we need somebody there to read out the weight for Howard, what each weight. And I look around this room and it's all these professionals are just like, what the is this for real? And in my head, I'm going, this is a historic moment. And I just raise my hand. I go, I'll do it. And for the next 24 hours, I was at High Pitch's apartment while he had, those old people plastic toilets.
The portable toilets. Yeah.
Yeah. He got stuck in it at one point. That's how big Eric was. I had to watch his pal Joey Boots.
This is disgusting.
It's so gross, and it's
Didn't
so
it
funny.
stink to high heaven? I mean, you didn't
Judy,
have a mask on, did you?
I
That
did.
was disgusting.
I had every time I would read out a weight, I go, Howard, this is, and I'm just dry heaving. I'm disgusted. But it was an amazing part of radio history that I am proud of to this day. And it only got better with the Craptacular 2 a couple years later. So, yeah, that's where the shitware came from.
Were you involved with number 2?
Absolutely. Number 2 was a head-to-head battle. It was High Pitch Eric versus Joey Boots, and much like a Rocky movie, Eric was down and out and came back in the last few minutes and out shit Joey
That is
Boots.
disgusting. So what were they eating to try to generate the most?
Oh my God! It
Like
was
Viper One.
fiber. It was any fast food within arms. Fans were sending food. People were dropping off food. It was like,
disgusting.
it was just garbage. It was so bad, so bad.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it sounds disgusting. But I heard that High Pitch Eric lost a ton of weight, and
Yes.
now he sounds normal. which
Yeah,
is
he lost a
good for
bunch of
him.
weight, and he
Yeah.
lost his high pitched voice.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
interesting? Maybe all the fat was weighing on his chest and vocal cords.
I think that's what it was for real.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah, because
are
he
you-
had that lap band surgery too. He got that a while back, and he busted right through that shit.
Oh. Okay.
he-
Do you still keep in touch with these people?
Yeah, you can quit Sirius, but you can't quit the whack pack. I talk to, Gary the Retard calls me at least twice a day. High Pitch I talk to. Yeah, you name them. I hear from them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed this part of American culture, as Vince said
should
when
be.
I was boycotting white male culture.
Yeah, let's
As
see
a
what you missed out
politically
on.
correct activist. Yeah, I missed out on all this. I didn't understand all this, but I'm learning, So, okay, well, thank you so much, Shuli. It's great to meet such a famous comedian such as yourself, who is like,
Please.
you don't have time for the little people anymore. So, congratulations on the success of your channel.
Thank you for gracing our channel with your presence. We appreciate that. You are welcome anytime, and we'd love to do more stuff with you. And if there's anything I can help you out with or do for you, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, BMC30, also for the super chat.
Oh, we'll get
Take
her on a
care.
raid. We'll get her
Okay.
ass in
Yeah,
there.
that
Don't
sounds
you
like
worry.
so much fun. I love it. Okay, have a
Improv.
great
We're gonna
day.
work on some
Yes.
improv, Judy. Let's
Yeah,
go.
We will. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.